What if someone you saw every day, someone you felt like you really knew, suddenly looked totally different? That is exactly what fans are saying right now about Rachael Ray. The face we all knew and loved, the smiling, happy chef, has been replaced by someone fans say they barely recognize anymore. And everyone keeps asking, what in the world happened to her? Before you see what she looks like now, you really need to take a deep breath and sit down. The answer is so much bigger, sadder, and more shocking than you could ever imagine. The whole story starts in May 2025. Rachael posted a video online for Mother's Day. She was standing in her kitchen wearing her glasses and talking about her past life. She told a really personal story about how she used to be very, very poor when she first moved to New York City many years ago. She said she survived on only $40 a week for food and everything else, and she was too scared and embarrassed to tell her mom she had absolutely no money. But fans were not really paying attention to the story she was telling. They were too busy staring at Rachael herself and worrying about her. The comment section completely exploded with concerned messages. People were genuinely worried about her health. Her voice seemed to be shaking and trembling. One person wrote, "Are you okay? You really do not look well at all." Another fan said, "Oh my gosh, she's completely unrecognizable." This was definitely not the first time people noticed something was wrong. This huge wave of concern and worry had actually been building up for many months before this. Way back in the fall of 2024, she posted some other cooking videos that made fans feel like something was seriously wrong with her. The comments under those videos were absolutely brutal and hard to read. What happened to her? Is she okay? One person wrote with lots of question marks. Another said, "I have to admit I was really shocked when I realized this was actually her." It is not about being mean to anyone. It is just what people are honestly observing and seeing. And the most common comment that kept showing up over and over was, "Wait, this is Rachael Ray. She looks like a completely different person now." Fans started pointing out very specific things they noticed that worried them. They said her speech sounded slurred and unclear when she talked. Some people worried that one side of her mouth appeared to be sitting lower than the other side. This observation led to some really terrifying speculation and guessing among her fans. People started openly worrying in the comments that she might have suffered a stroke or something serious. Other fans started guessing at even darker and scarier reasons for the big change in how she looked. Some nicer defenders came to her rescue and asked everyone to please be kind, suggesting that maybe she was taking high doses of steroids or strong medicine for a hidden health issue nobody knew about. Rachael herself has never answered or responded to any of these worried comments at all. She has not said a single word to address all the fears and concerns about her health. The woman people saw in these videos seemed really tired, weak and frail, and so completely different from the super energetic, bubbly star we all remembered watching on TV for so many years. This is the scary image that was stuck in fans' heads. A woman who was totally unrecognizable and physically trembling on camera. But then, just one single month after that really shocking May 2025 video came out, she suddenly stepped out in public, and the woman on the red carpet told a very, very different story than what everyone expected. On June 12, 2025, Rachael Ray made a very rare public appearance that surprised everyone. She and her husband, John Cusimano, showed up together for a cause they both really love and care about, the North Shore Animal League, America's big celebration of rescue animals and pets. This was a huge, important event with lots of famous people there. Howard Stern was there walking around, Hank Azaria was there too, and Rachael was right there on the red carpet posing for pictures, but she did not look weak or frail at all like in those videos. Photographers kept snapping tons of pictures of her looking completely elated and joyful. She was all big smiles from ear to ear. She posed happily for tons of photos with her husband standing next to her, and was even seen gently cradling adorable little puppies in her arms for all the cameras. She looked genuinely happy and content. She looked perfectly healthy and normal. This was actually the first time most regular people had seen her out in public in a full entire year. Her last big public appearance before this one was at the exact same animal event way back in June 2024. This latest appearance just made the whole mystery even deeper and more confusing for everyone. How could the unrecognizable, trembling woman from that scary May video possibly be this same elated, glowing woman, happily cradling sweet pup? Is just 1 month later in June. Was she just putting on a brave, fake face for the cameras and photographers? Was she secretly hiding something really serious from all of us? If she is supposedly so happy and so healthy looking, then where has she been hiding all this time? Why are her public appearances so incredibly rare these days? It is all just part of this huge disappearance mystery that nobody can figure out. For 17 whole years, Rachael Ray was a regular part of our everyday daily lives on television. Her super popular daytime talk show, called The Rachael Ray Show, was on TV 5 days every single week without fail. Then suddenly in 2023, the show completely ended out of nowhere, and Rachael just totally vanished and disappeared from daytime TV like she never existed. Many confused people thought she had simply just disappeared into thin air forever. But she has actually talked about this whole situation before in interviews. She says very clearly that she did not disappear or retire at all. She says she honestly never stopped working hard for even 1 day. So where did she actually go if she didn't disappear? The answer is the first really big reveal and surprise in this story. She is no longer living just in New York like she used to for all those years. Rachael Ray is now splitting all of her time between 2 completely different places, New York and a small, peaceful, quiet town in Tuscany, Italy, across the ocean. She said in interviews that she actually prefers living in Italy much more now. She desperately wants and needs a much quieter, simpler life away from all the cameras and attention. She is definitely not gone from working. She is just super busy doing different things now. She even launched and started a brand new podcast in late 2024 called I'll Sleep When I'm Dead. But then she suddenly paused it and stopped making episodes after recording just 8 episodes total. Why would she stop so quickly? She told People magazine in an interview that it was because she unexpectedly got a huge, massive order for tons of new TV shows with her very own production company that she started. She is living a much quieter, more peaceful life in a beautiful new country, and somehow is busier than she has ever been before in her entire life. But this new information just opens up an even bigger, more important question that needs answering. Why would anyone walk away from a massively successful 17-year hit TV show that everyone loved? Why suddenly move all the way to Italy on the other side of the world? Why did she need and want a quieter, simpler life so badly and desperately? To truly understand why she absolutely had to escape and get away, you have to understand and know about the terrible night that completely changed her entire life forever. You have to go all the way back to the horrifying night when her entire world literally turned to ash and dust. The night when her whole world actually burned down to nothing. It was August 9, 2020, a date she will never forget. Rachael was staying at her beautiful home in Lake Luzerne, New York, relaxing and enjoying her time off. This house was her special sanctuary and safe place, a gorgeous house built deep in the peaceful woods that she had personally designed herself with her own ideas and dreams. She was home that night with her husband John, her elderly mother, and her beloved dog Bella. Then suddenly, it started happening, and everything changed in seconds. She would later describe and explain the exact moment she knew something was terribly wrong and dangerous. She said, "I could actually hear the fire crackling and moving inside the wall. I could hear electricity sparking and popping. I could hear real danger coming closer. A huge fire had broken out somewhere in the house and was moving and spreading incredibly fast through everything. The family and the dog all got out of the burning house safely with absolutely nothing in their hands. They were safe and alive, but her house, her entire life, and all her belongings, everything was completely gone forever. Viewer video that people recorded showed huge, intense flames shooting high up from the home into the dark sky. Rachael called the whole experience blood-curdling and absolutely terrifying to watch happen. She stood there on the road outside and watched her beautiful home be completely destroyed and turned into nothing right in front of her eyes. She lost absolutely everything she owned that night, but it was actually the small, personal things that hurt her heart the most. She later talked in interviews about exactly what she lost, and it wasn't just clothes and furniture, which can always be replaced by buying new ones. She lost all of her personal notebooks full of recipes and memories and ideas. Her husband, who is a talented musician, lost all of his precious music books and sheet music, things that are not so easily replaceable or buyable ever again. She told one truly heartbreaking, sad story that shows how bad it really was. Her dream home had a beautiful pizza oven that she loved using. In the days right after the terrible fire was put out, she walked through the wreckage and destruction and thought the pizza oven had somehow survived and made it through. It was one small thing that made it through all the flames, but sadly, she was totally wrong about that. She said that about 12 or 13 days later, something big fell from above and broke and destroyed the pizza oven too. The entire house was a complete total loss with nothing left to save. It had to be bulldozed and knocked down completely. Her reaction and response at the time was actually really amazing and showed her strength. She said she was grateful just to be alive. She told all her fans, "These are the days we all have to be grateful for what we still have, not what we've lost forever." But the emotional trauma was really deep inside her. This is the major moment that completely changed her as a person forever. She said it herself in a tearful, emotional video she posted years later. "I can say from my own personal experience, when disaster strikes your home, your whole life changes forever and nothing is ever the same." This is the clear before and after moment in her life story. This is the traumatic event that perfectly explains the desperate need for a quieter, peaceful life in faraway Italy. It explains the deep trauma that fans might be seeing in her tired face and hearing in her shaky voice in those videos. How could anyone survive that kind of loss? How could anyone possibly come back from watching their entire life get bulldozed into the ground? The truth is Rachael Ray has been a tough fighter her whole entire life since she was young. And this terrible fire was definitely not the first time she had been violently attacked or hurt. Long before she was ever a famous TV star that everyone knew, Rachael Ray lived in New York City in the 1990s trying to make it. She worked at the candy counter at the famous Macy's department store and later got promoted to manage the fresh foods department there. She then helped open up a really famous gourmet food market called Agata and Valentina in the city. But her daily life in the big city was absolutely terrifying and dangerous for a young woman alone. She was violently mugged right outside her apartment building in Queens one night. A scary man slammed her hard against a door and jammed a real gun in her back, threatening her. She screamed as loud as she could and bravely fought him off using mace spray. It was a horrible, terrifying random attack that gave her nightmares, but then it got so much worse than anyone could imagine. A few days later, her attacker actually returned and found her again. It was the exact same dangerous man. He found her again in the exact same location near her apartment. This time, he violently dragged her into a dark side alley where nobody could see them. She later said in interviews, "He beat the absolute crap out of me with his gun. Over and over. She only escaped alive because of her loyal dog, Lisa, who was with her. The brave dog chased after the man and scared him away before he could do worse. After being violently attacked twice by the same scary man, she was completely done with city life. She packed up and moved out of Queens and back to her hometown upstate to feel safe again. Do you see the clear pattern now? A terrible, life-changing trauma happened in New York City that scared her. So, she fled and escaped. She escaped upstate to try to rebuild her whole life from scratch. That is exactly what she did again decades later when another trauma hit. A terrible, life-changing trauma with the devastating house fire that destroyed everything. So, she fled again. She escaped all the way to Italy to rebuild her life once more from nothing. And that first escape, the one after those horrible, violent attacks, that escape is actually what accidentally created her entire amazing career path. After fleeing scary New York City, Rachael was back upstate near her family and old friends. She got a job working as a food buyer at a gourmet market called Cowan and Lobel in Albany. She was not a trained professional chef with fancy degrees. She just genuinely loved food and cooking. To help the store sell way more food during the busy holidays, she had a brilliant idea. She started teaching a simple cooking class for regular people. She called it 30-minute Mediterranean meals to show how easy it was. The class was a huge, massive hit with everyone who took it. The local CBS TV station, WRGB, noticed her and her fun personality. They loved her bubbly, friendly personality and her super simple, easy recipes anyone could make. They gave her a weekly 30-minute meals segment on the local evening news to try out. That local news segment, along with her very first published cookbook, got her a special spot on the famous Today Show. And who was watching the Today Show that morning? Important executives at the Food Network channel. They saw her cooking. They absolutely loved her energy and style. And in 2001, they gave her her very first TV contract. 30-minute meals, as a real show, was officially born on TV. Her career completely exploded into superstardom almost overnight. It was not just 30-minute meals that made her famous. It was also $40 a day. It was Tasty Travels. It was Inside Dish. It was literally dozens and dozens of best-selling cookbooks. It was her own magazine called Every Day with Rachael Ray. And it was her giant, very successful dog food company called Nutrish. She became the biggest star in all of food television and media. She was relatable and down-to-earth. She was not a fancy, snooty chef. She was just one of us regular people. But the woman who was attacked in that dark alley was about to be attacked all over again in a different way. This time by the one person who was definitely not one of us. The queen of perfection herself, Martha Stewart. Rachael Ray's massive success was a big problem for Martha Stewart personally. Martha was the old guard of cooking shows. She was all about perfection and doing things perfectly. Rachael was the new guard coming in. She was all about getting dinner done fast and easy. Martha did not like it one bit. In a famous interview, Martha openly attacked Rachael on camera. She said Rachael is just an entertainer and cannot even bake properly. Martha did not stop there with her mean comments. She attacked Rachael's new cookbook, calling it just a re-edit of a lot of her old recipes. Martha said coldly, "And that's not good enough for me at all." It seemed like a one-sided cat fight in the media, but the real drama was actually happening behind the scenes where nobody could see. And this is the part most people do not know or ever heard about. In September 2006, 4 of Martha Stewart's own staff members were actually caught trying to sneak into a private taping of Ray's show in disguise. They were literal spies sent to watch her. A source said they were kicked out immediately because they lied about their real names. This shows just how big of a threat Rachael really was to Martha's empire. Martha's own team was actively spying on her like in a movie. So, How did Rachael, the fighter, respond to this public attack? She did not fight back at all. She won by simply being herself and staying classy. When asked about Martha's really mean comments, Rachael said calmly, "I have nothing but respect for Martha and what she's built." She even agreed with her criticism. She said honestly, "Her skill set is far beyond mine. I'd rather eat Martha's food than mine, too." And then she delivered the perfect line that ended everything, a line that explained her entire brand and philosophy. She said, "I don't work for Martha. I work for my viewers and regular people." She won the battle. She was publicly battling Martha in the media spotlight, and she was also battling other serious problems in court at the same time. She was sued over her Nutrish natural dog food by angry customers. The lawsuit claimed the food contained a dangerous weed-killing chemical. Another lawsuit claimed it had artificial preservatives even though it said natural. The strangest lawsuit of all, one that actually claimed they found dog DNA in her lamb recipe dog food somehow. Rachael Ray was a fighter through everything. She battled a mugger with a gun twice. She battled the queen of daytime TV publicly. She battled multiple lawsuits and she battled a devastating, life-destroying fire. After 17 long years on her hit talk show, she was completely tired of fighting everyone and everything. She was ready for a brand new chapter in her life. This brings us to the biggest question of all that everyone wants answered. Why did she really walk away from her show for good? The Rachael Ray Show ended completely in 2023, after many successful years. This was after 17 full seasons and 17 years on top of daytime TV ratings. The easy, simple answer is that ratings had declined over time, and yes, they definitely had. But that is absolutely not the real story or real reason at all. The real story is hidden in her official statement when she announced it. She said, "It's time for me to move on to something new. My passions have evolved from the talk show form to a platform unencumbered by the traditional rules of distribution." What does unencumbered by the traditional rules actually mean? It means total control over everything. It means no network bosses telling her what to do, no advertisers to please and make happy, no traditional rules to follow, no ratings to worry about constantly. This all connects directly back to the house fire and what she learned. Remember, after her house tragically burned down, she filmed her show from her tiny guest house that survived. She and her husband John did literally everything themselves with no crew. She got a real taste of a new way of life and working. She said it was our little world to just be us and work together. Then all of a sudden, we had to let everyone in again. The fire taught her an important lesson, that she wanted her little private world back. She did not want to let everyone into her life anymore like before. So, she made a huge power move that shocked everyone. On the exact same day that it was announced her 17-year talk show was ending for good, she also announced the launch of her brand new company, Free Food Studios. She did not get canceled by anyone. She did not retire from working. She pivoted to something totally new. She left her old empire behind to build a brand new one from scratch, and she is building it from a brand new home base. A home she literally built from absolutely nothing with her own hands. This is where she is right now, her Italian dream home finally complete. This is the big payoff everyone wants to see. This is where Rachael Ray is today living her dream. She is in Tuscany, Italy, living her best life. But she did not just buy a beautiful Italian villa that was already perfect. That is not her style at all. She bought a centuries-old stable for animals. When she first bought it, it had no running water, no electricity, no heat, and no plumbing at all. It was a long-abandoned ruin that nobody wanted. Do you see it now? This is the ultimate rebuild project and symbol. Her New York home, her sanctuary and safe place, was burned to the ground. It was completely gone. So, she went all the way to Italy and found a ruin that needed saving. and she brought it back to life with her own vision. This is the exact same pattern repeated. After her New York home burned, she rebuilt it exactly as it was from her memory. She is obsessed with building things, not just buying things already done. Her new show, Rachael Ray's Italian Dream Home, showed the entire insane renovation process. They had to excavate and dig out floors just to make the ceilings high enough for people. She built a music hall for her husband, John, to play. And in a classic Rachael move, she even built a full working kitchen in the bedroom. This Italian villa is definitely not a vacation home for weekends. It is her brand new office and workspace. It is the new set for her new life and new shows. And it is the headquarters of her brand new empire she's building. This is what she is doing right now in her life. This is how she is doing now. She is not a daytime TV host anymore at all. She is a studio head and boss. She launched Free Food Studios as her company. The network A&E was so impressed with her, they bought a 50% stake in it as partners, and she just signed a massive new deal for 110 brand new episodes of programming. She is the star of her own lifestyle block called Homemade Nation. Her new shows are already on the air right now for people to watch. First, there is Rachael Ray in Tuscany, filmed on location. It is filmed from that brand new kitchen in her Italian villa that she built. She makes local Italian dishes like rabbit ragu and chicken piccata. She is living her absolute dream life. Second, there is Rachael Ray's Meals in Minutes, a Back to Basics. It is a fresh take on her classic 30-minute meals concept. And then there is the third show, the most important one of all, the one that explains everything about her journey. It is called Rachael Ray's Rebuild, and it's so personal. This show is not just a show for entertainment. It is her brand new mission in life. It is inspired directly by her own house fire and loss. In every single episode, Rachael helps a different family whose life has been completely destroyed. She helps regular people who have lost their homes to fires, to floods, to tornadoes. She uses her own blood-curdling experience to help them rebuild. In the promo for the show, a tearful Rachael says it all perfectly. "I want to help people rebuild their homes and their lives. This is the real answer to what fans keep asking everywhere. Is she okay?" They see a trembling woman who looks unrecognizable in videos, but they are not seeing a victim at all. They are seeing a survivor who made it through. She is not broken or giving up. She is a boss running things. She is a person who went through the worst thing imaginable and survived. A fire that destroyed her entire life in one night. And she monetized her trauma and turned it into something good. She turned her worst nightmare into a television show to help other people going through the same thing. And she had the power and money to do all of it because of one last stunning fact. Rachael Ray has an estimated net worth of $100 million. This massive wealth came from all those years of TV shows and hard work. It came from her best-selling cookbooks that sold millions. It came from her popular line of cookware sold in stores. And a huge part of it came from her pet food line, Nutrish, that was incredibly successful. That $100 million is not just a number on paper. It is freedom and power. It is the freedom to walk away from a 17-year hit show. It is the freedom to say no to network bosses who want to control her. It is the freedom to buy a stable with no electricity in Italy and spend a fortune rebuilding it exactly how she wants. It is the freedom to start your own studio, hire your own crew, and build a brand new empire where you call all the shots yourself. So when you see Rachael Ray now, the woman in those concerning videos that worry people, you are not seeing a person who is broken or defeated. You are seeing the face of someone who has been through the fire and survived. Literally through actual fire. The deep breath from the title is not for a tragedy or sad ending. It is for the shock of realizing she did not just survive what happened. She is in total control now, living in her Italian dream home and building a brand new empire from the ashes of her old one.